I think that part of the issues that we're going to have over the next decade is water management. The work that you guys are doing, I think you'll agree that managing water determines how that yield will come in the future. And then it's how do we use those cover crops to manage that water? How do we become a profitable, sustainable farm for the future? Has a lot to do with how do we manage the inputs and how do we manage nutrients. You don't have irrigation, you have to manage that water by way of cover crops. And in 2024, that was a humbling year for us here on this farm. One of the driest years that we've had, I would say, in history. And we still were averaging 20 to 30% above the state average, which was 114 bushels to the acre. Most farmers, from what I understand, had put in somewhere between $600 and $700 an acre into those corn crops. At $4 corn, you're looking at about 150 bushels to the acre break even. This farm, we were somewhere around $350 to the acre, which was 89 bushels to the acre break even. So even in one of the worst years that we've ever had, we still were able to sustain profitability on the farm based off of those cover crops.
Our soils, as you're well aware, have a propensity to supply a certain amount of nutrients. And from our data, whether it's corn or cotton, that could be anywhere from 50 to 80 pounds. Nitrogen use efficiency typically in Virginia can range anywhere from 45% all the way up to about 80%. And we can change nutrient use efficiency through the use of covers, but also through the use of other management practices like timing, rate, placement, and source of nitrogen. We have tools in Virginia like the pre-side dress nitrate test that predict how much nitrogen is going to be available and predict whether you need to side dress corn.
Having these on-farm research scenarios is invaluable as a producer that's trying to figure out what is the best cover crop for me on my farm. And I've told many farmers, if you have the opportunity to engage extension and have plots on your farm, please do so, because that shows what is the best cover in the situation on my farm there.
And also which one will be most successful with your current management practices. We've gone in and just said, I just want to split a field with a farmer. This half we're going to do manage nitrogen with the UAV, this half in variable rate, this half we're going to do just like you usually do. And once they start seeing it on their farm and their neighbor's farm and it works and it's saving their neighbor money, you know, it might only be a 20% reduction in nitrogen rate using the UAV variable rate system, but that's 20% savings that they have on maybe 30% of their acres. And then their neighbors start seeing that and going, man, there's something to this. This is pretty cool.
And that's powerful. That can be powerful. Having them actually see it and touch it and what have you is huge.
Yeah.
Talk about incorporating them or having them incorporate that into their system. We are part of the Virginia Cost Share program. We have been utilizing that cost share system for the last 8 to 10 years. Cost share programs are intended to have producers try a different system. It takes the financial burden of purchasing the seed, purchasing that equipment, and trying that system and seeing how we can then make it work as a farmer, as a producer. How can we make that system work and become viable for the future? Profitable farms create a healthier watershed.